Hey guys, this is North back again with another video. Today's video is going to be a versus of sorts. I'm going to do a comparison between the new Carolina Herrera Gold Myrrhe Absolute and compare that with the Armani Prive line Myrrhe Imperiale. So I'm going to break down each one of them, tell you my experience with wearing them over the last couple of weeks, and choose which one that I prefer over the other. So let's get it going. As I've stated in my previous videos, I've become obsessed with not only the note of incense and fragrances, but also resins. So whether that be myrrh, frankincense, elemi, styrax, benzoin, all these different names. I love fragrances that have them in them. And for me, when I first smelled Myrrhe Imperiale, I knew I had to have it. And then when Myrrhe Gold or Gold Myrrhe Absolute came out, I had to definitely check that out. So neither of them did I blind buy. I did test them a little bit. I didn't have like a decanter or anything. I just tested them in the store on my hand, and I eventually was able to pick both of them up. So we'll see how that goes, okay? So before I get into it, I wanted to talk a little bit about what myrrh is. And this is a large piece of myrrh resin that I picked up. I mean, I have a whole bag of it, but I wanted to get the biggest piece to make an example out of it. And so myrrh is a gum resin, just like frankincense is a gum resin and all these other resins, but myrrh and frankincense are the most popular ones. So I'll pretty much just narrow it down to that. And so myrrh is extracted from damaging a tree, and myrrh itself has been used for incense, medicine for thousands of years, and is popular, as I've mentioned before. Of course, frankincense and myrrh are both mentioned in the Christian Bible, for example. The biggest difference between the resins of myrrh and frankincense is that myrrh, when it is burned, and the natural scent of it is quite sweet in comparison to frankincense, which makes this type of resin, gum resin, and fragrances to me very appealing. It makes them almost have a gourmand type feel, but not be similar to food. It doesn't make it a fragrance that you want to necessarily eat, but it does have a sweetness to it, and I do love that in fragrances. So let's get into these two that we're talking about today. I do want to start off with the earliest release, which is the Armani Prive line, the Myrrhe Imperiale. This was released in 2013. This one was released in 2013. And this one retails for $290. Now, the unfortunate thing about this particular fragrance is that it is discontinued. It is still available for purchase, as I just purchased this brand new from Bloomingdale's about a month ago or something like that. So it is still available, but it will not be made anymore. Now let's get into the note breakdown. This one has a very simple note breakdown. This one has myrrh, amber, benzoin, vanilla, saffron, and pink pepper. Now with this one, what I get from it, and I sprayed it on my left hand, I have the other one on my right hand. With this one, you do get a sweetness to it. What I do love about this particular composition is that it mixes the sweetness of the myrrh with also the sweetness of benzoin. Benzoin, when it is in fragrances, it has a vanilla quality to it. And it also has, as it mentions, vanilla in it. Vanilla and saffron are also sweet. But the good thing about it, as I've said before, is that this is a sweet resinous type of scent. It doesn't have a smokiness to it like something that would be frankincense, or something that has an incense note to it. It has a sweet resinous quality to it without being a gourmand. It does not smell like food, if that makes sense. But this one, it projects pretty loud, and you get the immediate effect of it. You get the immediate smell of it right away. And that's what I enjoy about this so much. This is one of my, favorite scents that I've picked up. I can't wait for it to get cooler so I can wear this a lot more. So that's pretty much my thoughts about Armani Prive. the Myrrhe Imperiale. So let's move on to the next one. The next one is Gold Myrrhe Absolute by Carolina Herrera. Now this is a release that came out in 2021, so it just came out this year. And the awesome thing about this, because both of these are quite expensive, but this one costs more. This one retails for $302, so it's like $12 more than the Armani one for 100 mil. But I don't know if you'll be able to see this. I was able to get a tester bottle, so I was extremely happy about that. That my guy, he hit me up and told me that he got this one in, because they had all the other new ones from this line. From this, I don't know if this is considered their niche line or whatnot, but these bottles are quite expensive. Now the notes on this one are, the top notes are immortelle, black pepper, cocoa pod, licorice, vanilla, and myrrh. So again, you see vanilla and myrrh again, but this one has a chocolate note in it. It also has black pepper and licorice. All right. Now, what I get from this one is that I get a sweetness to it, but I don't get as much of a resinous type of feel to it, if that at all makes sense to you. So it doesn't smell like resin. It doesn't smell, not like incense, but it doesn't smell, that's the only way I can describe it, is that it doesn't really have this resinous quality to it. It does have similar aspects to it, to Myrrhe Imperiale, but it's completely different. What is similar is that it has the myrrh and the vanilla in it, so it has a sweetness to it without being gourmandish. It does not smell like food. But with this one, I don't know if you can see the distribution on the atomizer. This one has one of these high grade new atomizers. Sometimes I get them when I get new versions of Myrrhe perfumes. But with these new atomizers, and it has a magnetic top, of course. With these new atomizers though, I feel like it's constricting some of the oil that comes out of it. That's just how I feel. You know, even when I spray the Myrrhe ones that have these similar type of atomizers, I feel like I'm not getting all the oil that should come out of it. So I feel like this particular scent, it kind of is lacking in a bit. It does have a powderiness to it. That's what makes it a little bit different. Maybe it's the immortelle in it. Maybe it could be the licorice. I'm not sure. But it does have a powderiness to it that the Myrrhe Imperiale doesn't. Now, what is noticeable about this as opposed to Myrrhe Imperiale is that with Myrrhe Imperiale, it is linear to a certain aspect, but when you spray it on, what you spray is what you get. You smell what you're going to get sort of immediately. Whereas with Gold Myrrhe Absolute, I feel like this one kicks in maybe like 5 or 10 minutes later. When you first spray it on, not that you don't smell anything, but you don't get the full effect of it until it settles in your skin, and then you get to smell kind of the magic that comes from it. Now this is a pleasant scent, but at the price of $302 for 100 mil, and I don't believe they come in 50 mil sizes, I feel like this one is overpriced. I also believe, you know, $290 for this one is an expensive price to pay as well for a fragrance, but this one is more, and I believe that it doesn't project as much, as it doesn't have as great of a performance as the Myrrhe Imperiale, but it, you know, again, it is a nice scent. It is myrrh, you know, so I can give it that. Like I said, they do have some similarities that overlap, but they're not at all exactly the same. Now, my final thoughts, if you could guess, is that between Myrrhe Imperiale and Gold Myrrhe Absolute, I prefer the Myrrhe Imperiale. I believe that this is just, besides the performance and the projection that goes along with it, I believe that this is just a much more complete, pleasant, and just opulent scent. When I thought of getting, you know, a fragrance that was myrrh dominant and I smelled this was exactly what I was looking for. I said, yes, I have to have that. So when this came out, Gold Myrrh Absolute, I definitely wanted to try that too. And when I tested it in the store, like I say, when you smell it right away, when you spray it right away, you don't get what you're going to get 10 minutes from now. You have to wait a while to get what this has in store. But once it does reach its full potential, it doesn't project very much. I even asked my wife to choose between the two. I had them on my arm, and she said that they smelled similar. She felt they smelled similar, but she said she had to sniff really hard to pick up on what this was giving her, you know? So there you have it. This is just my thoughts, and I just wanted to do a comparison. I was glad I was able to pick up a tester of this so that I could compare the two. Now, I don't know of many other myrrh dominant fragrances, or at least that have myrrh in the name. I know that there are a couple. There's one, the Virgin of Venice, that I have not been able to check out, but I also picked up Joe Malone's Myrrh and Tonka. So this one was actually the very first fragrance that I got that had myrrh in the name. And this one is awesome, but I don't think that it would have fit as much into the comparison as this one. I'd have to look at the note breakdown again, but I wanted to do something that was just dominant myrrh, only had myrrh in the name, and was a similar price point. So just to go over it again, this one is $290, but this one is discontinued. So if you are interested, try to find a boutique where you can at least test it and pick up on it, because it will not be made anymore. And this one is $302 for 100 ml. And like I said, it's a heavy bottle. It has this magnetic top. It's awesome, but I just don't think it has the projection and the longevity and even the scent profile that garners the high price tag. If I felt that $300 was a fair amount to pay for a fragrance, I would say that this is definitely worth the money, you know, but always try to get something at a discount. I try my hardest not to pay retail prices unless I feel like they're reasonable, and reasonable to me is less than $200. But you know, to each his own. So those are my thoughts on these. Have you tried both of these? Have you tried one or the other? Please let me know in the comments. Please like, comment, and subscribe. You know, every little bit helps. Again, I'm trying to make my goal of my benchmark of 100 subscribers. So if you could help me get to that goal, I would really appreciate it. And please stay tuned for future videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.